Sorry, guys. What the heck? I did. Jorge, I don't know. So, my Wi-Fi here in the house, it's connected through like nodes. I don't know if you know what nodes are, but they're basically like a mesh wire system. But they like talk to each other and that sort of thing. So if I'm like way over there where the kitchen is, and then I come way over here closer to like another node, it should be able to disconnect from that node and then reconnect to this one. Well, I think there was an issue where they both disconnected, and I checked my nodes, and it seemed like one had a little bit of trouble connecting to Wi-Fi. So I think that's where the confusion got to. And my phone was just being stupid and couldn't figure out which node to connect to. But yeah, I meant to change the title to this. We're just going to do 2 lives today. How about that? Double or nothing. Jorge, if you want to like spread the word for the people that were in here earlier and let them know that, hey, I'm live again. I just had to reset this one up, and I'll have to change and edit the title and all that sort of thing because I just hit the live button and called it a day. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. That way, because it's not on the fish fam link, so I'm assuming maybe that's why people are trying to find it, is on the fish fam link, and I don't have time to do that. Holy smokes. All right, we got 3 people in here. Let's get the word out that I had to cancel my one live, and it for some reason just did not pick it up. Stupid. Yeah, it was just a lot quicker for me to cancel the one live and just start this one back up. All I did was create a thumbnail. And that was just on the fly too, so. Plus I thought I'd hang out with you guys too. Still got 3 people in here. This can go, that can stay, this can go, this can go. We got more than 3 people. Hey, look, we got somebody. Jeffro, would you ever run a tank this size without a sump, now that you've used to having one? Jeffro? Hey, Jeffro. Are you talking about me, Jeffro? I'm sorry, like, I don't have a sump. I just have an FX6 if you're talking about me. My OBs? Yeah, I have a ton of OBs, actually. Jorge, there's a bunch of them, but I had to stop my breeding process because of 2 reasons. One, because I ran out of room, ran out of tanks, and ran out of space. And 2, since I got my 220, I'm gonna make room for that. So my whole plan is to downsize, get rid of my 9 tank 10-gallon rack. I'm gonna get rid of that completely and just keep a couple 20 longs for quarantine purposes, and I'm gonna move that 220 into where that 10-gallon rack is. So I'm downsizing is the plan. By late spring, I want to have that 220 up and running. Oh, okay, Jeffrey, you meant canister filter. So what you're saying is, you're saying without a canister. I don't have a whole lot of experience. I don't have a whole lot of experience. Let me go over here with sumps. And I'm sure I could acknowledge myself in it. It's kind of like how I feel with like saltwater. I could acknowledge myself better to be in to start a saltwater tank. Same with the sump. And I've looked at videos for it, and I'm sure I could do it like a 40-gallon breeder, because it'd probably be really easy to just set it all up and put a big, real thick sponges in there along with some biomedia. But I guess I've just grown accustomed to using FX6s because that's what's here right now. And I just, my personal preference, I like using FX6s, and I have two FX6s for my 220 tank. And I like the idea of like servicing one while the other one's running, sort of thing. It's just my personal preference, and I'm okay with it. Maybe down the road when I feel like using sumps, maybe, but at this point in time being, I like using the FX6s. Jorge, the OBs, I did sell some. I went to the Ohio Cichlid Association auction a couple weeks ago, and I sold some Dragon Blood, some Kenny Eye, and some OBs. What else did I sell? There's some Yellow Labs I still have left over, but I have like a ton of female OBs, right? Mostly female OBs, and I'm not going to create an LLC. I thought about doing that. I know I've talked about that before. Hey, thanks, Louie. Thanks for coming and joining in. Sorry I had to cancel. My Wi-Fi. It sucks and wasn't picking up where it was supposed to where it left off at. But anyways, Jorge, I'm probably just going to end up giving them like to either local fish stores, or if someone like on the YouTube community is interested in them, I could do like a test run. Because I do have a scale that I could weigh it with, and I could try to have them shipped, but I don't have any experience with it, and the best way to do it is just to see if it works and try. I want to wait until after the winter though. Literally, I have so my Wi-Fi, I was explaining this to Jorge earlier in a nutshell, that I have what they call like a mesh wire system, and I have nodes, and I have two of them right now. And I think what happened was, if anyone knows about this, they kind of talk to each other, sort of thing. And I feel like whenever I had my phone all the way over there in the kitchen, which is the complete opposite end of where this tank is, I feel like there was a connection loss between switching from one node to the other, because my other node is right on the other side of this wall in my computer room. So I feel like there was a connection loss between, because when my phone was in there in the dining room or in the kitchen, it was connected to that far node. But then when I moved over here, I feel like there was like a connection loss between moving my phone from here to over there, and it was trying to go to this one, and it had difficulty, I guess, going back and forth. So essentially, it's kind of like a Wi-Fi extender in a sense. I feel bad though, because I had like 10, 12 people watching, and then everything just froze. I think everyone just left. But yeah, most of my tanks are on sponge filters, Jorge. All my stuff except for two tanks, my two display tanks behind me on my in-wall setup, those are all on canister filters. But everything else is sponge filters. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I have a Wi-Fi, but I'm a bit, lost it here. That's why I got the laptop. I have a Wi-Fi, bit of, I'm IT training, not much, but enough for trouble. Yeah. Yeah, sorry guys. I didn't mean to leave I didn't mean to leave you guys on purpose. That was kind of unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that my phone would still stay connected to my node I'm looking at right now, and apparently it tried to connect to this one, and there was a little bit of confusion with them switching around. And my phone wasn't reconnecting like I was hoping it would, so I'm doing 2 live streams today. Yeah, maybe Lumi, if you're doing IT training, we'll maybe we can figure it out together in the future to make this work it a little bit more smoothly. I was kind of worried about that to begin with, just because of the fact that I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. So I always had my fingers crossed, and I guess I should have crossed my fingers a little bit harder. The signal booster may help fill that gap. I could be wrong though. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to look into that. It just sucks because on small situations like this, where I don't do it that often, I've had this happen before to where, like, say as an example, I thought about getting like another node, so that way they would kind of stay connected, because I only have two right now. So I think either one, buying a signal booster, or two, buying another one of those mesh nodes, so I can have three of them. So that way I don't lose that connection between them, so that they always stay connected, or to the right one. But good luck on your training. Hope that goes well. I only got 5 people watching now. Yeah, I don't know if because I think what some people do, and I might be mistaken on this too. You can try it. If it doesn't work, do a refund. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought about doing. Because I could either one, get a signal booster, or two, get another node and see what they have to say. And they're probably gonna ask for like the square feet of the house and how long it is and that sort of thing too. So I'll probably have to know that. All right, Lumi, thank you. Yeah, I lost everybody. I only have 4 people watching now, so it's probably me on my laptop, Lumi, Jorge, and somebody else. But it sucks. But yeah, Jorge, if you're still in here, I want to sell the OBs. That's the whole plan. And I went to some auctions, and I actually sold, the people that I met through the auctions. I was actually able to give some fish to other people at the same time with the auction. But the problem with OB cichlids is a lot of people, so far from my experience, and my experience is very short, a lot of people don't seem to like the OBs, just because some of the OBs that come out of different fish, you don't know exactly what came out of this fish. So the only thing you can call it is an OB. And they have various colors. And whenever I was breeding them, I had the OB was a male at the time. Hey, welcome back. Sorry about that, Cheryl. But I think that's the problem that some people may don't like OBs, is because whenever I was breeding them, the male was an OB, and then a female dragon blood, a female OB, a female lemon jake, and a female red shoulder peacock. And so when you have that variation, it's just almost like you don't really know what it came from, other than me personally knowing what I put in there. I love it. I'm with you on that, because that's what my 220 is going to be. That's where most of the fish is going to be. There's the OB, the whole blotch, all these different colors in it. I personally like it. Just because you have like a red shoulder, you get that red and blue. You get like a dragon blood, which is like an orange. You get like all these burnt orange, red, and blue, and that sort of colors. And once they get older, it looks really, really neat. So that's my personal preference. I like them, but I think some people don't, because they don't know exactly where the fish came from and originated from. And I do technically, because I know what I bred, but it's just not going to show personally whenever someone comes and sees the tank, or if someone sees it like at a local fish store. So maybe that might be the reason why people don't like them, but I don't know. I have a lot of them though. For linfish when it comes to African cichlids. Okay. For what kind of fish, Jorge? Sorry for the typo, it seems. What do you mean linfish? I don't care for linfish when it comes to African cichlids. We got 7 people in here. I'm almost done with the tank. OBs are gorgeous. I don't have a setup for African cichlids. I have to look for the stop sign. Glad you are smarter than me. You got it earlier, didn't you, RJ, from the first stream? All right, should be good to turn this back on. Let's try it. Let the wave maker run. Wave maker didn't go down. That's cool. Oh, line breed. Okay. All right. I don't care for the line fish when it comes to African cichlids. All right, cool. Yeah, any help is appreciated if we can like get a couple more people to join in. I'm almost done filling the tank though, unfortunately. But I'll kind of take my camera, my phone camera, and kind of give you guys a closer view of the tank. Hopefully the fish won't be too scared or anything, but I'm almost done filling. The water pressure on this sink is a lot better. Hey, Koi Pit. We lost connection earlier, but we're good now. We're almost done filling the tank, guys. All right, I'm gonna stop the water. Okay. So let me see if I can chat with you guys for a little bit. Jorge, I have 3 blue dolphins in here on 1 yellow lab, and let me sit down with you guys for a little bit. I have 1 yellow lab, and in transition of when I was moving, I originally had my Frontosas in a 55 gallon. Let me get my laptop up here too so I can see the chat now that I think of it. Jorge, when I started this tank first, I had Frontosa and blue dolphins and yellow labs, and it was in a 55 gallon, and it was off to the side here before I had this tank set up. So I had it both, this set up over here, and then I set this up, and then after realizing that the yellow labs were just too aggressive for the Frontosa and the blue dolphins, I decided to move them out. Well, somehow in that transition, one of the yellow labs was holding, and one of those little baby yellow labs survived in this tank with these Frontosa in it. And I thought it was a blue dolphin because one of the blue dolphins is a female, but it somehow survived, and that's why I have 1 yellow lab in here, which looks like it's right there. But I have 7 Frontosa. One of them is a black widow, and the rest are just regular Frontosa. And then I have 3 blue dolphins, and I actually have 3 more smaller blue dolphins downstairs in quarantine that I'm going to keep growing out and then put in this tank. So that way I have 6 blue dolphins, 7 Frontosa, and 1 yellow lab. So that's what's in there. Yeah, I really like this tank, Koi. Lumin, you got a bed. Yeah, thanks. Let me go get something downstairs. It'll take me like a minute, and I'll come back. I need to get my charging cable for the laptop, so that way I don't lose you guys. right, I'm still here, guys. I had to get my laptop's about to die on me. I still gotta add my aquarium salt to my tank too, so there we go. Appreciate you guys resharing this. If you guys want to like it too, that would be great. I'm sorry for separating. I'm sorry for separating this into two lies. Cichlids are a bit too much trouble for me. Yeah, it takes a. It's not for the fond of heart for cichlids, that's for sure. Especially African cichlids. I've definitely had my fair share of struggles. The need to pee gets me out of bed. That's what gets me out of bed too. Sometimes that's what sucks though, because then if you get up in the middle of the night and you have to pee, and then you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm wide awake. Let me add this aquarium salt into the water, and then I should be good. I'm also gonna clean the glass. 2 streams is fine. That's right, Lumi. Double or nothing. Isn't that how when you make bets in the casino, double or nothing? All right, so let me, I did bring stuff to clean the glass too. So I'll do this the other way, so that way nobody panics. But I use this glass cleaner, and I've had no problem with it. All right, I'll do the sides and then I'll come back to chat. All right, no harm, no foul. And a spare paper towel. All right, let's see what we got here. .03 salt. Corey, can you elaborate on that, please? Lemmy says, I did get out of bed to pee at a reasonable hour, got dressed, and crawled back into bed. That happens. Yeah, that sounds, Lemmy, my wife used to do it all the time. You know, she would get out of bed, and then she'd get dressed for work or whatever, and then she would put her shirt like either inside out or something like that, so the tag would be on the outside, and no one would notice, and then she'd get to work, and she'd be like, oh my gosh, my shirt's, opposite direction, or it's inside out. Middle of the night sucks. You have dogs, toilet, and then switch dogs. Hey, girls fish room, what's going on? Lumpy dog, how's it going? Oh, why were you adding salt? It's just been a routine for me. I use just a little bit of aquarium salt when I do water changes. I don't use a whole lot, but I use probably between the aquarium salt that I use like maybe like 1 to 2 tablespoons whenever I do this tank, and then let's see, the koi pit. Answer your question too. I also use some of this, but this stuff goes a long way. And this was suggested by Ben Ochart when I talked to him. It's got a lot of probiotics in it, and it's supposed to simulate kind of like a African Rift Lake chemistry sort of thing. So like the dosages per se, like in a new tank, not like something that already has salt in it, because salt, doesn't dissolve, it just stays in the water column. From what I understand, is you add 1.5 teaspoons per 10 gallons. Malawi, that's for Tanganyika. Malawi is 3/4 teaspoons per 10 gallons, and Victoria is half a teaspoon for 10 gallons. So I just use this and add a little bit, just because it's got probiotics in it and it promotes this. The salt I just use for fish health. I don't use a whole lot, but that's why I use that. Just babbling. Let me go ahead and move some things out of the way, and I'll see if I can get give you guys a closer view of this tank, because I don't show this tank off too much. All right. So let me switch the camera around here, and I'm going to take you guys with me. How about that? So here's what I got. Blue dolphin, Frontsa. There's that one yellow lab I was talking about. That's the biggest Frontsa in there. He's probably a good, I would say, 6 to 7 inches big, maybe 8. But he's the biggest of the tank. There's my blue dolphins. They're pretty peaceful. There's the black widow there. It's probably about 5 inches or so. These guys are doing okay. Like I said, there's that one yellow lab that happened to make it and transition between the 55 and this tank. And that's it. 7 Frontosas, a couple blue dolphins. And hey Shirley. And I'm gonna add 3 more blue dolphins once they get a little bit bigger, because right now I just think they're a little too small. But yeah, but that's kind of the gist of it. I think it's kind of nice to do this for you guys, because I don't show this tank off too often. So I kind of like to see all this live for you guys and for me, just because you guys haven't seen this tank a whole lot. But yeah, there you go. Let's see if we can set myself up again. Sorry for the movement. But yeah, there you go. There you have it. There is my Frontsa tank for you guys and my water change day. Yeah, I really like the Frontosas. Thanks for coming in, Shirley. We had a little bit of trouble earlier. I did does this tank use natural light? No, these are lights up here. They came with the tank. I have no problem using it, but there are on a timer. They're just the what brand is this? Is this a Marineland? I think this is a Marineland tank, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look at my app, but it's just 2 like hood LED lights. But I have these on a timer and they go off at 2 o'clock. So since I have such a big window over here, a lot of natural light comes in this room, and I don't like to have like more than enough light, during the day. And Frontosas as well, in their natural habitat, it's normally pretty dark, because they're like deep haps, or not haps, but they're more like deep water fish too. So they're used to having a natural habitat. It's more like a darker atmosphere. Thanks, colorful peacocks. Koipit, does that answer your question kind of about the salt, and why I use it and why I decide to use it? Some people use it and some people don't. I just use a little bit of it here and there just to benefit the tank. So I hope that kind of answers what you were asking. I don't know if everyone uses aquarium salt. Whenever I do my water changes downstairs, I don't use aquarium salt for any of those tanks. I only use them for this tank and a little bit in the peacock and hap tank over there. And when I do my 220, I might use it. But I've had a lot better luck when I never use aquarium salt. So ever since I started using aquarium salt, along with this probiotic bin, I have a lot less fish disease. I have a lot less problems with fish and stuff, and it's more so aggression than anything. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just irony or if it's just because I'm starting to use salt that I just have a lot less issues down the road, it seems like. But yeah. I'm planning at some point to put something up here, like a banner or something like that, but I haven't done it yet. So this has been my water change day. Glad you guys could stop out on a Sunday afternoon. I probably won't be on here too much longer. But the people that's been in here so far, and even in the first one with my peacock and hap tank, I'm gonna have to rename it. Koi Pit says, kinda, I use a 40-pound bag of salt per 1,000 gallons when introducing new koi. Okay, so that makes sense. That's a good question to ask. So I tried to give you my best answer, the best of my knowledge and stuff. So I'm not a huge. I guess I should say I don't have a whole lot of knowledge with using ponds or with koi either. So this is just the routine I've done for a while, and it's worked for me. But like I said, all my tanks downstairs, I don't use any aquarium salt at all. And I don't know, it's just, the tanks have been running really good and really healthy, and it's been working well for me. Raise the salt level up to 0.03. Is there like a because I use this for temperature, so do they make stuff like this to measure the salt level, like a digital readout? Do they make stuff like that? Because if so, that would be really handy, and then I would know like exactly how much to raise my salt levels. And that'd be something new that I learned today too. So if they make something like this, then I'd be able to know like the exact amount of salt percentage that I have, or is there like a test kit? Okay, so maybe I should look into that, like maybe like on Amazon Koi Pit, that maybe I could like a salt digital reader aquarium or something of that nature. I'll look into that because that would be interesting. Is 0.03, is that like a good range of where to keep your salt at to keep aquarium fish healthy, or in your case like maybe like your koi pond and that's why you do it? Let me know. This wall looks so bare. I want to put this camera down a little further just because the white walls are so bare, but like this stand doesn't go down anymore. I guess I could probably set it on the floor and then raise it up a little bit, but it's all right. I'll look into that though. 0.03 is the level to make them less stressed. Okay, so I'll look into that then. Okay, that makes sense, Koi. Thanks for that information. I'll look into that then after I get off here, and I'll look for a salt measurement, so that way I can try to get a really good accurate measurement for next time that I add the salt. And if it's too high, then I wouldn't put in salt next time. So that's a good thing to know. I appreciate it. That's good information. Yeah, I still feel terrible that the whole Wi-Fi disconnect was kind of sucked, but it is what it is, I guess. See, they start to come out though. Once I hang out in front of the tank for a little bit. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, it's been a good day. I'm actually really happy how this turned out. It takes a lot of time to set up a live stream while doing a water change, and it's even more difficult downstairs in my fish room, just because of the fact that there's a lot of tanks, there's a lot more hose to wrap up, and there's a lot to watch over, because when I'm doing water changes like 10 and 20 gallons, you really have to like really stay with everything if you're multitasking between draining and filling up at the same time. So it's really difficult unless I'm doing like the bigger tanks, like my 275 and 60s. Then I can do water changes a little bit easier, but you still have to kind of multitask. Whereas here I'm working on one tank at a time, and I'm able to do this, and it's a little bit easier. I'm gonna have to figure out how to, of course, like I said, this live stream was kind of on the fly, so I don't really have time to, but I need to look more into like the Fish Fam link. So that way I can start sharing this on there and figure out if it's going to the Fish Fam link or not. Because it was, and I had a hard time doing it yesterday because I had to recreate the live stream. I think that's why a lot of people had trouble getting on here before. Do I have an Instagram? Yes, I do. It is on my main page on my YouTube. Yes. Why no plecos in here? I don't know. I just didn't do it. I think I just wanted this to be a Frontsa and blue dolphin tank only, with the exception of the yellow lab that's in there, and it's doing fine. I think that's just kind of one of those things that, like, ever since I started looking at other people's tanks and their Frontosas and putting a blue dolphin because they have that same hump to them, you know, as they get older, I think that was I was pretty happy with doing it just that way. And I wasn't going to do a bristlenose either, because they don't get as big as the Frontosas, and I don't want them to be like a meal per se if it fits in their mouth. So I don't know. I guess I have in my community tank, I have a bristlenose pleco, but I guess plecos aren't like necessarily my thing, except for my community tank. I have an albino bristlenose in there. I guess it's just a personal choice. I just like keeping just the Frontosa and the blue dolphin. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Lemmy. Coy's gonna send me some info, so if you want. I'm not an expert, but I found some good resources. Yeah, that'll work. Koi, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Jesse's The Salient. I'm on his Discord server as well, and you can always, between any three of those, you can message me on that. But I appreciate it. I think that'll help, because I think, like I said, my luck has been, knock on wood, pretty good. I haven't had too many major issues with my tanks up here since I've been adding the salt, but any information will help. You know, if we can dial in a certain water parameter to make it healthy enough for the fish to live and thrive and have a nice, long, healthy life, then more power to everyone, you know, and any information helps. That's why I joined the YouTube community here, is to learn more information and chat with you guys and get to know you a little bit. RJ says I don't answer many questions. I just play dumb and listen too much. That's fair. Yeah, I'm a good listener though. You know, I like to listen in on any kind of helpful tips and tricks and different things you can do with your fish tanks. I got a few things to clean up. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to hang out here. I got some extension cords. I got to take the bucket back downstairs and the towels and everything. Put a few things away. My live stream was pretty fun last night. It was really hard for me to see what I was doing because it was really jittery on my end. So, like, we had a lot of people join in. It was fun. I showed everyone my sign. Um, it is full. Yeah, it probably goes up to about here to where the water line is. I like it that way. Some people like to have the water level a little bit lower. I think Jesse likes to have his a little bit lower. And I think that has something to do with the, and I could be wrong on this, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think what Jesse explained is it has something to do with like, if you have a little bit less water at the top, that it helps with like the oxygenation and the, water tension up top for more, I don't know. I can't remember exactly how to explain it, but I think that has something to do with that. Jess would know about it more than I because I think he keeps his tanks slower than I do. Gives it more room for the oxygen for the fish, sort of thing. But I have an FX6 running. The output's over there, and I have a wave maker over here. And I feel like I haven't had any fish deaths. I haven't had a single fish issue or a fish death in this entire tank. Knock on wood. So it's been doing fine. But yeah. Thanks for the stream, everyone. See you, Jeff. Time for me to stream, hop a little. Yep. Koipit says, isn't the same amount of surface area making contact with the air the same regardless of the water level? Yeah, I don't know. Isn't the same amount of surface area making contact with the air the same regardless of the water level? I guess the way that I always viewed it as, Koipit, is as long as you have enough surface agitation to supply to the fish, I wouldn't think the water level would have a difference. But I don't know the 100% answer. It's just the way that I've ran this tank. I run my peacock and half tank the same way, where I have the water level high enough to where it has a really good surface agitation to where the outputs of the hoses are for the FX6s and my wave makers. And I haven't had a problem with surface agitation or oxygen at all. So that's just how I run things, and it's been okay for me. But I'm not an expert on oxygen and all that sort of thing. I just know what I need to do to keep them alive. Yeah, and for fish who jump, lower is better. But if you have water noise, it's a sacrifice. Yeah, I try to keep a lot of my tanks because I actually had one of my Haps, my peacock and half tank, jump out a little bit. It actually jumped out twice, and it's still in that tank living to this day. Yeah, good to meet you too, Koi Pit. I'm gonna leave out. I'm probably gonna leave here shortly as well, because I gotta eat lunch. I gotta finish cleaning up. But yeah, I've had some fish jump out, but I try to keep my tanks, with those plastic pieces in the back with the lids and everything else. I try to keep it pretty much closed up so I don't have any fish jump out. No, noisy. I literally got forced to join. I'm probably gonna head out here soon because I'm hungry. I want to eat lunch. You got bullied. I'm sorry, noisy. I won't ever bully you. But thank you for coming in. I'm about ready to end this. I actually ended up with 2 live streams today because I had an internet issue earlier. Lumi gave me some helpful tips to maybe get a Wi-Fi extender, or I might get another node, depending on how that goes. But I don't have a lot of situations like this where I have to move my phone around, So it's like, but thanks for coming in, Noisy. I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna finish cleaning up. Thank you guys for coming in again a second time. I appreciate it. Noisy, I'm sorry you came in at the last minute. Thank you, Shirley. I appreciate you coming in, and we'll see you soon on the flip side. Everybody else, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a great afternoon and evening, and have a wonderful beginning of the work week. And take care of yourselves, take care of your fish, and take care of everything else that you're doing in life. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for coming in on my water change day. We'll see you guys.